All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're now live on the E.C.B.R.O. Discovery News broadcast. Today we are going to talk about research and recent findings. Well, I have a few announcements I want to go over. I'm not sure where to start. Um, you know, there's a couple shout outs I want to give to a couple people. Well, one in particular. Um, I want to say hello to a 5-year-old young man. His name goes by the name of Trevor. I don't know, some of you guys might be familiar with the video I shared to you guys. With Trevor is actually a member of the crypto crew. Again, he is 5 years old. And Trevor, if you are watching right now, this is Daniel Benoit, founder of the E.C.B.R.O. I myself, I want to say hello. And I want to let you know you're doing a great job. I watched your video, and you're already off to a great start being a Bigfoot researcher. I love the way you do your whoops. Your whoops are amazing. Keep it up. And one thing I want to let you know, you might be a member of the crypto crew, but I want to let you know I am welcoming you into the ECBRO. So again, it's Trevor. Don't give it up. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job, Trevor. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And I want to also thank Melissa George. Melissa George, she's a paranormal author, and I want to thank her for her donation of the Sasquatch Native Truth book, and that is a blessing to receive such a book. Thank you again, Melissa, for that. And then with that being said, let's see. Oh, by the way, has any of you guys recall the little video there of young 5-year-old Trevor?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? I thought he was pretty good. His whoops were like very identical to yeah, they were very identical to some of the ones we've heard out there, as far as in the field.
pretty good for a 5-year-old. I grant you that much. Ain't very many
Yeah,
5-year-olds can do that.
I found them to be very impressive. Yeah. If no any of the viewers, if you guys wonder what we're talking about, if you're not familiar with that, please contact Melissa George. Melissa George, it's her grandson, and he is awesome. Check him out. He's very cute too. I got to throw that in there. He's very cute. Check out young Trevor, 5 years old. He's an up and coming squatcher, and he's got young, and he's learning, and I think he's going to make a great researcher. I think his name's going to be remembered in future times to come. And with that being said, I know we got a camping trip coming up this weekend. Fred Candy is hosting that camping event, and as far as we know, everything is still in effect. Am I correct, Fred? Everything's still a go on that?
Yep, everything's still a go.
Okay, Lael and her cousin still attending?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Also, I have a Memorial Day weekend camping trip coming up, which is, of course, the end of this month. It will start May 27th, and of course, run through Memorial Day, Monday. Then again, we also have our annual E.C.B.R.O. expedition, which formerly was set scheduled for Ohio. They joined the 18 in Ohio at Beaver Creek State Park. And due to a few other reasons, we were unable to attend. There was other members that could not attend, and and we still wanted to participate in the expedition. So we always have one here in Virginia, a week-long expedition, and with that being planned, we have that scheduled right here in Virginia. And for those who attend and are familiar with it, know the location, and those who plan on attending will learn of the location. It is a very serious hotspot, a lot of activity, and the activity right now is actually growing to be much more active, especially due to my recent findings and also vocalizations, if I should throw that in there. And actually, we'll talk a little bit about that too, because Ryan actually commented under my video, and we'll kind of speak on that shortly. And as far as the announcements or anything, Fred, did you have any announcements you wanted to throw in there before we get into any discussions?
No, not right off my hand. Camp trip's the only thing I got going, and everybody just get out there, keep squatching, and because spring's here, summer's coming on, and things are heating up extremely in everybody's area, from Virginia all the way over to up into Yankee Town, New York.
Oh, you had to throw Yankee in there.
Yeah, and down to
That's funny.
Alabama, Paul Halsley, he's working in his areas and he's doing a good job at it and everything. But that's about it.
He
All
meant
right.
Yankee in a loving way.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Fred picks. I pick back too. He knows it.
Yankee Town.
Oh, now Ryan's gonna jump in on it.
I'm a Yankee brother.
Hey, that
Well,
makes.
well, Daniel is a damn Yankee.
Oh,
That's because I came down here and I stayed. I didn't leave. I've been down here for almost 30 years. Well, close to 30 years now.
yeah.
All right. Let's see. One person. Before we get into any discussions about me, I want to bring up Connie Fox. Are we all familiar with a lot of Connie Fox's recent findings?
Yes, I'm gonna try to get her on here.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get
She
her.
will be.
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say she will be able to be on after tomorrow. Cause she was, I was messaging her and she said she's going shopping tomorrow and she just so happens to go shopping at Walmart. Cause I told her, I said, as far as a headset goes, Walmart has good sets for around 14, 15 bucks. And she said, oh, that's great because that's where I'm going shopping. I said, okay, there you go. And for those who might not be familiar with Connie Fox, she is a resident of Kentucky and she is a solo independent researcher. She shares a lot of her findings, all over, and I'm proud to announce that she's got some serious stuff going on, and she's got, real evidence going on there, and her area is getting active just like everywhere else.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead, Fred.
I'll have her on in 3 weeks. This coming Wednesday, I'm having Lee Woods from North Carolina. I'm having him on, so I've never talked. I mean, I've talked to him a few times. I've seen his videos. He's got a pretty good active area down there. What's it, Sobia, Leo?
Sophia.
Yeah, something right now.
I think he's kind of in the Urari Mountains.
Yeah, he's in the Urari National Forest and everything. I'm supposed to go down there this summer, and
Yeah.
I was planning spend a weekend down there, but till then, I want me and you and everybody else to get to know this researcher, and just see. I want to see how he does his research down that area.
It's not
Keep an eye out for Wednesday night.
a hilly area, and there's supposed to be a lot of activity from time to time down there in the Urari. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Now, is that towards Raleigh, like towards the western part of North Carolina?
It's Greensboro is west of Raleigh and kind of in the middle of the state. The state's kind of odd shape.
Okay.
It's a little, I'd say an hour and a half below Greensboro.
Okay.
Not at the south end of the state, but going in that direction, kind of the mid-south. There you go.
All right. Cool.
It's about a 5.5 to 6 hour drive for me if I drive it. I'll play easy. I'll take a trailway bus.
Yeah, I think we can get to Greensboro in about 4, so we could probably do that in about 3.5 or 4 because it's just south of Greensboro a little way.
Yeah.
I just had a quick tidbit here.
Yeah.
You notice how everybody, Daniel, Fred, myself, everybody's region starts to be picking up right about now, and I think we need to
make an announcement about it.
Yeah, I think we need to get our heads together, not just us, but the whole community wide, and try to figure out what we're missing and why we're missing it, because I don't believe that there's got to be some reason that everybody's area is getting hot right now. I understand spring and I understand things like that, but there has to be something more to it. There has to be something we're missing. It's just awkward that, I mean, so many areas. I don't know where Connie's from, but you have New York, you have Virginia. You heard the other night Stacy say Florida's getting hot, amping up.
Yeah.
So something out there that all us researchers are not keying in on. We're missing something to why that is.
Well,
Right.
let me throw this out there, and then kind of like you guys, can pick and choose or think about this. And this is, I mean, I kind of made this little, brief statement in, a couple of my recent videos that you guys seen. Well, all right, this time of year, we know spring, we've had a lot of rainfall. A lot of the areas, I know you guys have gotten rain up in New York. We've gotten it all last week, and it's still hitting hard today here in Virginia. And the rain has actually brought the abundance of the green and the foliage, all the leaves and stuff, kind of sprouting out real full now. For one thing, all right, we got the leaves and everything. The forest is actually becoming thicker and more dense and hard to see through. Um, the way I'm looking at this, and this is just one of my theories, and I believe it may have some truth to it. Well, the Squatches, anything elusive, can make more of a round. They can move around more and be more hidden this time of year. Second, the food supply is growing and becoming more abundant as well. And so I believe this is part of where they're coming out of their slumber. That's why it's just like bears. I know you guys are probably gonna hear me say this every podcast, but just like the bears. And this is the same thing. I made this announcement in my last video, my field video that you guys just saw earlier. And it's just like, if you want to find the Squatches, follow the bear signs. And when you follow the bear signs, and this is a theory, this is not, no one has no proof of this, but this is my theory, because every time I follow and observe the bear signs, I'm also finding Squatch signs there, and tracks belong to both bear and Squatches. My theory is, and this is what I believe, that the Squatches are following the bears, or their patterns, or their travel routes. This is actually disguising their whereabouts as well. Because of my close observations, these are one of the things I've been taking notice of. Because where you find Squatch activity, you find bear activity as well. And someone might say, well, you just might be getting fooled. It just might be both all bear. You blah blah blah. I said, no, there is a distinct difference here. I mean, I'm very observant, and I know Fred will agree, and anyone else who gets out in the field to observe and knows nature as well as we do with our known wildlife. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. If you guys have anything, if you want to agree or disagree, or share anything or add to that, feel free. I'll turn it over to the panel. So,
I will.
but Fred, you were going to. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
My turn.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
Ryan.
go ahead.
I think, Ryan, that it is just spring. Everything comes out in spring. All the animals, the flowers, the trees, the bees, the birds, everything. And I think that the Sasquatch, just like the bear or anything else, are just coming out of winter. They're hungry. Trees are budding, blueberries are growing, and I think it is just spring. I mean, that's just my opinion, but what do you
I mean,
think?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it
Well,
makes sense because the food sources, like I said, the food sources are growing this time of year too. So, but yeah, go ahead, Fred. What do you
yeah,
want to say on that?
like today when I was in my area, I've noticed. I mean, you can watch my videos I just posted today, but I've noticed that every one of them at one area was pointing up toward the mountain, like going up
Mm.
behind Mill Creek and heading up toward the Blue Ridge Parkway. And when I went into when I went into Kennedy Fields, um, I was being paralleled on both sides, going in and coming out. I had a rock thrown at me. Um, I didn't find, I couldn't find any tracks because there's been a lot of hunters walking at. I walked up behind down that trail and then I went up around the pine thickets there. I was turkey hunting, and I heard movement up in there, and between the trail and the creek, I was hearing movement there. And every time I stopped, it stopped. I took a step, it took a step. So, plus I did get a little twinge of a um, how shall I say? What's that smell? I got the smell of sassafras just for like maybe 5 seconds.
You
Ah.
you were just smelling
When
me.
the wind,
Well, I know there's a lot of sassafras right there in the Blue Ridge. He
Right?
said you were just smelling him.
yeah, oh,
Oh, Lord.
no, but I mean, I can tell when these guys are following me. Like when you're walking, right there on that straightaway where you spotted that squatch up on the ridge watching you when you back up behind Kennedy Fields. Remember, just play it just
Yeah.
past summer. Okay, right when you
Yeah.
come right when you come down that little knoll right there where all them pine trees and fell, you got that little alleyway. It goes up to your right and kind of swings around, follows the trail. Well, that's where that smell was coming from. And I walked in there and followed it all the way to the creek, and I found broken limbs, and it was so leafy in there. I seen tracks, but I couldn't distinguish them as bear or a human or a Bigfoot, because it was just so damn moist. The leaves were just like a sponge, so I couldn't say, But as far as the food sources go, uh,
Yeah.
blueberries are looking good. Uh, sassafras, the berries that are on sassafras trees, you notice that squatches eat those. And if you know what you're looking for, later on in June, you will start finding sassafras trees, limbs broke, berries stripped, leaves stripped. You'll find some that they pull them up out of the ground, and they will break the roots off of it and eat them. It's another food source. Blueberries is coming in. Plus we got
Yeah.
deer and turkey and everything. So you know, far as the activity goes, the activity is getting hot. Because there are some that, like yesterday when I was up in there, I was staying in one spot. I spotted what I thought was a turkey, but the difference was I sit down, and when I looked through the scope of my rifle, it was lower. It was lower than my knee. So I walked up there, and I found knuckle prints and knee and two knee prints. So I know it was either a juvenile or an adult, but because I kept hearing something, when I was just sitting there, just putt putting, with the turkey call, and something black kept catching my eye. Now the hens are black and the jakes are really black, with the golden ends at the wings, But all I saw was
Yeah.
solid black, It was like they were like it was like if it was a squatch, I can't say it is, and I can't say it ain't. I can't even say it's a turkey because I ain't seen no turkey tracks. But whatever it was black and it was in stealth mode, you know. But as far as them being there, yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting there, and they're starting. I'm starting to see more activity,
Right.
especially all through the pines. I'm starting to see
Yeah.
all the
I know.
structures. All the structures I've seen is when you're coming down that trail right there to your right, you got all them sucker trees. Then you got the pines, but every one of them sucker trees that was bent, twisted, and X and all them thing was headed toward the mountain. And everything I found in the apple orchard, in the pine thicket, was headed toward the mountain. Actually, it was headed kind of like catty corner from right there where you're standing, and you're making a beeline to the top of the mountain, and you're coming out by maybe 100 yards for the end of the Bald Mountain Trail. That's the way
Right.
well, that line was facing, going, everything was going in that direction right there. So I'm gonna have to go into Candy Fields, and I'm just gonna have to beeline it over that ridge and just keep walking. It's gonna take me. It's gonna take me way back up in there. But something's telling me to go back in there,
Well,
and I got.
the reason I asked is I'm going to try to explore the fact that, I mean, something of their size, I mean, I don't really necessarily believe that they go into a hibernation, but maybe more like a slumber. Being that size to survive
Right.
in harsh conditions, there's got to be some reason that they're getting more active, because your weather is obviously way different than mine, or Connie Fox's, or even down in Florida. It's warm there a lot. So what is the reason that this month they're always becoming active? There's something that we're actually missing, because we didn't have a bad winter up here at all in New York. So but
That's
still, like you
not to
have.
cut you off, but yeah, not to cut you off, but just real quick, our winter here was very mild this year. I mean, yeah, we had a few cold days, in the 20s, and but our cold winter didn't last long at all. And that's what it
Right.
was. It was very mild, and it didn't take long to get warm quick. So,
Well,
but yeah,
see,
I just wanted to throw that in there. I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
that's cool. We're still in the 50s. I mean, it's like 55. We're going to start hitting the 60s. The greenery has not fully started growing yet. The underbrush is still able to be walk. You can walk through it. We don't have berries growing yet and stuff like that per se. So all the areas don't meet the same criteria to say, oh, it's spring. We don't meet the same criteria. As far as like Florida,
Right.
and even you in our area, if you didn't have a bad winter per se, then neither did we, basically. So don't you think you'd get activity sooner? I mean, April or March, it would be more, but it's always seeming to be in May, almost nationwide.
Right.
And so there has to be an underlying link, I think. I'm not trying to overthink it, but if you really start to tie areas together, geographical locations are totally different. Down where Stacy is, it could be 85 right now. It's 60 where you're at, or whatever, 70, and we're still in the 50s. And the woods itself is totally different. You said you have greenery
Yeah,
coming up. We don't. So there's something, I believe, and it's my honest opinion, we're missing something. There's something we're not able to tie to them yet as far as this month.
yeah. Oh, another thing I noticed.
Yeah, because it's funny that
Um,
you're actually bringing all this up and making a
yeah,
point. Because back in May of 2014 is when we had our encounter, and then in June I had a solo encounter.
Right,
So
and
of that,
both my
well, so yeah, so it's pretty cool.
both my encounters
Yeah.
happened in May of 2013 and 2014 also. And so did, like, when I got the majority of my cash tracks in 2014, they were actually May 12th. That was the date that, because I mark and label all my tracks. So they were, the majority, we ended up getting, I think, like 5 on the 12th of May. So I've been paying attention to that, and I've noticed across the country, everybody's saying, on the Bigfoot forums and everything, oh, it's, yeah, but it's 90 in California, it's 90 wherever, you know what I mean? It's the spring is, I get it, but there's got to be more to it. There's something we're missing, because the geographical locations are totally opposite of each other, but yet we're still having the activity ramp up. So I don't know. Maybe it's a mating season time. Maybe they're going. Maybe there's a, we don't know. It's all speculation. Could there be like a rut that happens, like in the early May, like the bucks would go in a rut? But I don't know what you would actually call it for a Sasquatch. It'd be more like a mating,
It could be.
Yeah.
or if it'd be more like them
That
coming
could.
out of a slumber.
Yeah, but if they are anything affiliated or associated with our known primates, which in my theory, in my belief, I believe there is a relation. I know with our known primates, it's there's no set time of year that they choose to mate because they're actually just like humans. They any time of the year or as often as humans would go at it. Except they're are known primates. If you actually look at it, the male primates are like pimps more or less because they have groups. Their clans are more 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 females and less males in the groups because that usually in that case the males are the more dominant ones and and they keep groups of females just for that reason. But not all of them are like that. There's other groups that have other you know groups just for hunting and there's like they're organized in different ways. But I'm saying but what you said could be also a possibility. I mean, with the Sasquatch, there's no proof of anything. I mean, but you're right. There's something that we are missing. There's a piece of the puzzle that we can't find to put into this mystery.
Right. Well,
So,
that's the thing. Like we're always hell bent on proving it, or we're hell bent on this and that, instead of actually learning about like what they're doing and what time they're doing it and how they're doing it. I think we interject ourselves a little bit too much into that whole aspect of what we can find, and oh, I got tracks, or I got this, I got that, but we're not actually correlating our research to it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, go ahead, anybody, the viewers, you guys, go ahead and look online. You'll notice how many people are saying, this is what I'm finding, this is what I found, and everything's getting hot in my area, and it's a broad spectrum, and it just happens to be May. There has to be
Right.
there has to be something besides just, well, it's spring, because it's different everywhere. So hopefully in the future we can maybe tie something to that. I don't know if any other groups are actually researching that thing, that idea, but it would be good, maybe for us to start paying attention to that more when the lulls happen and everything like that.
yeah. Well, I want to just say real quick, viewers, I know you guys are hearing the discussion and everything. If you have any input on this or anything you want to share, please do so on the live chat. We want to hear your input and your thoughts or anything you've learned through your own, if you do your research or not. Meanwhile, while we're waiting on responses on the live chat, I want to go to Lael. Lael had something she wanted to share.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ryan, I wasn't disagreeing with you at all. I do agree that everything is coming out in spring, and the bears, the Sasquatches, anything and everything. But yes, it could very well be maybe mating. Because we talked about the other night that if you live at the bottom of the mountain, spring comes in mid-April, and when you live at the top of the mountain, it's mid-May. Because of the elevation. But it very well could be mating, and that they just know when, and so they are being more active.
All right.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Let me ask the panel a question. And
Yeah.
this is to this is to all the audience too. I want everybody to try this. Now, I don't know about other areas, but Daniel, in your area, in my area, the streams are up really good.
Yep.
Why don't we all try to put cameras on the creeks at certain areas that you find trails coming to the creek, wide trail like Squash Trail, something like that.
That's a good idea, Fred.
Yeah, yeah. Like Ryan.
I hear him there. He's making all kinds of noise.
Yeah, like cut out and then it like went back in. Sorry about that. I didn't
That's
hear.
all right.
Okay, what I was saying was, why don't we, since the way the weather is, and all the streams are up. You know, they're going to feed. They're going to feed on crawdads, minnows, natives, and stuff like that. Why don't we try to, in every state that we can, or anybody's listening, a few game cameras on the yourself,
Yeah.
Put up
see
Yeah.
what you can catch, and how they, and that way, if you catch something, that
Yeah.
way if you
Yeah.
that way if you catch something, um, it'll show exactly how they go about catching their crawdads, minnows, and and whatnot, on the creek. That I know that's one thing that we are missing is how they do it on the creeks and the ponds and stuff like that.
Well, besides that, what you made me think about too. You talk about using cameras and stuff to kind of keep eye on the creeks and streams. Perhaps they're using the creeks and streams as a highway or travel route, just like our trails and old log roads that we go across. So that could be a possibility as too. Because I mean,
Right.
a lot of the creeks and streams I see, I mean, we could walk through them if we don't mind getting our feet wet, So I mean, why can't a Squatch? I mean, their tracks could easily be hid, and So I mean, I think that
Yeah,
could be a number of, So, but yeah, that's something what you brought up was very very good idea, and that made me think of that as well. So, but yeah, that's something worth trying. I never really thought about that.
yeah.
So
If you think about, I mean, because it's like us. We taking, like we want to do some trout fishing or some bass fishing. First thing we'll do is we'll either take a net and get a bunch of people, and we'll gather up hellmites and stuff like that, for bass bait and stuff.
yeah,
Then you could get your crawdads and everything like that. But as far as food wise goes, I know squatches like hellmites, frogs, crawdads,
the
minnows, and
lizards.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that'd be something good to check out. Plus, if you put the cameras up there, you might catch something that you're missing.
Hmm. Interesting. Again, viewers. Wait a minute. Let's see. Hold on. Something jumped on the. Oh well, I mean, yeah. Uh, a comment on the live chat. Uh, YouTube user Nincompoop says catching crawdads by turning over rocks along the bank like me.
Well, yeah, that's
So
normal, and everything. I mean, it's normal, but it's like a squatch might, build like sticks and build like a little teeny, cage or something, to throw them in there, and take them home and eat them, something like that. It's just something odd.
It actually cut out on
oh
me,
yeah,
so I went to a different computer. But I didn't hear what you said. You said put up cameras for what was that again, Fred?
Put the cameras, right on the creeks, and that way you might
Hmm.
you might catch a squatch or a couple of them feeding in the creeks, and it might show something that we never thought about.
Well, I can tell you
About 'em.
this. I my
Right.
one of
Or
my
like a.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna add to what he was saying because I brought it. Or they could use it as a way of traveling, perhaps,
Yeah, it's
along
always
with
a way
what
of
Fred
travel, man,
said.
but
Yeah.
it's the feeding process
But
that's
yeah, I'm
not.
sorry. Go ahead. I kind of interrupted you, Brian.
No, it's not a big deal. But just one of my biggest thoughts and theories is that they use the waterways to travel to, kind of like the Indians did way back when.
Right,
Um,
right.
because I've noticed I've gone out and in small creeks and streams, I was able to find um, footprints near some of the creeks. They weren't made out. You couldn't cast them because there was water, in them, or it was a small flowing
Right.
stream. Um, but that's one way to stay hidden.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that is a good possibility.
yeah. That's why I was saying, because I do know they travel the waterways and power lines and whatever, as they like up and down the Blues Parkway from all the way up and down the East Coast, But if you can get squatches, a squatch one, two, or three in the creeks feeding, looking for crawdads, how they're catching minnows and stuff like that, you learn something.
Yeah.
That's what the whole point was. I knew
Right.
about the traveling part, but it's the feeding, because you said there's something that we're not catching, you
Yeah,
know.
we're
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah, yeah, and that right there could be one way on how we can catch him. But when you put your cameras up on the creeks, you got to well camouflage them.
Well, I did tell you how I caught that one photo. I told you I started exploring like the magnetism and infrasound thing. So I went ahead and wrapped one of my cameras with this, like, it's a copper aluminum tape, and what it does is it actually dumbs down any electrical output that your camera gives gives out. So I don't know if they could pick it up or whatever. I'm not a scientist, and we sure don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but I try, but I'm
you know,
trying different things, and I
right,
ended up getting the photo on that game cam.
right. Now water is a
Mhm.
conducts electricity, right?
Right.
You knew about that, okay?
Yeah.
If everybody says, "Oh, the squatches can hear the cameras," well, how can they hear the cameras when you got running water?
Run. Very good
Well,
point. Very good point, Fred.
that is a great point, but here's my thought about that.
Okay.
It's kind of like me or you. If we're in our house and somebody's on your back deck, but you have your radio on and you hear a certain thump because it echoes or something in your house, and you just know what it is because you live there, you would know, hey, somebody's on my back deck.
Exactly.
So if a squatch is in the woods and they live there, obviously, and I understand the creek makes noise, right? But they're more in tune to what is going on around them than us. So
Exactly.
they might be able to still hear that because they know it's like their house. You know what I'm saying? Did you get the
Well,
point I
that's
was trying to
true.
make?
Yeah, that's true too, but if everybody would take and just take
Yeah.
one camera and just set it on the creek, and see if you can catch one in the creeks foraging for food, that would be something interesting. There was a guy what was that show back in the
Mm.
'70s where the guy at the end of the movie, he caught two squatches, eating water shoots and stuff like that, you know. But the bottom line on that one is that he did, I mean, even though the movie wasn't real, but it was the thought of what you might see on video or on photograph of of how they are when they're in the creek system or small streams and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like a missing
Well,
point.
Fred,
But
do you want me to bring my trail cam?
hey, it
yeah,
won't hurt.
no, it
I'll,
won't hurt.
I'll have mine.
Anything, anybody wants to bring anything, we'll set them up everywhere.
The
Well,
reason the reason I tell the
I
reason I go ahead,
am
Bill.
that I don't know if they can hear them, if it'll work, if it'll not, whatever. But I do have one. Um,
Awesome.
it takes about $12 worth of freaking batteries.
Hey,
Yeah.
there is a battery website that I order my batteries from online.
Oh,
Um, I could probably share that with you guys on the sidebar here.
yeah,
Eh,
or just later on. Yeah.
yeah, it's really cheap.
Well, I tell you what, when it comes like when I put batteries in my trail cameras, I use name brand. But now with that being said, I can leave on fresh set of batteries. My trail cameras, I can leave them out there for months, and they'll be fine. Thing is, keep in mind, a trail camera, I know a lot of times their battery's only being used based off of if the trigger gets triggered, if the sensor got triggered and they're being, taking their pictures. I mean, I've had them out there the most at one time for 4 months. I still had 90 something percent of battery left in them
Oh
at
I,
yeah.
just after 4 months. And
well, th
one trail camera takes four C batteries, the other one takes six double A's, and that's my real good camera. The six double A one, my little Browning night ops camera. Um, but I wanted to throw in there real quick. I know Ryan, you wanted to say something, but just let the panel know. Connie Fox is watching and listening. So if you guys have any questions for Connie,
Yeah.
feel free to throw them out there because she's watching and listening.
Okay, Connie, I will see you in a couple of weeks on the podcast show that I'll be doing with you. But my question um, is she getting? Are they getting more enthused about when she shows up? You know, because I know from previous photos and the videos that I've seen and got from her that when she rolls up, they get very enthused. They're like, "Ooh, hey, she's here. Let's go greet her." Yeah, I'm
so,
serious, man. I mean,
so
she sent me one photo. I'm not going to say what it was, but from what I've seen in that photo, I've never seen before, and it's very intriguing.
now wait a minute. Are you talking about the one that was zoomed in where you can see a face and nose in it?
Nope,
Oh, okay. That's a different one then. But
no.
Connie, if you were listening, well, Fred wants to know. Uh, wait a minute. What's that? Wait, hey, go ahead and repeat that one more time, Fred. You want to know what makes them enthused?
When I've seen her videos and seen photographs, whenever she shows up, they get very excited and they come and greet her to a point. I mean, they'll stay hidden, to a point, but they'll come and greet her, and watch her and everything. But she sent me one photograph. I'm not going to say what it was, but I can tell you this: I've never seen it before. Never seen
Mm,
anything like that before. And if I
interesting.
see it in my area, it would be mind blowing.
Wow. Well, Connie, if you're listening, I'm curious. You can send that to my Facebook Messenger. I like to take a look at that. And if it's something we're allowed to share, please let me know. If you give me permission to share it, I'll do a screen share. But if it's something you want to keep private, I understand. So, just wanted to throw that out there. So, all right. Ryan, you had something you wanted to say or share?
Oh no, I was just gonna tell you. I shared it in the sidebar. You said that you only use like name brand.
Oh
Uh, the co-
yeah.
the company I shared with you guys on the sidebar, they have Duracell, Energizer, all that stuff. I mean, at amazing
Oh,
prices. I'll order probably like every other month. I'll get 144 double A batteries, and it's $43. Um,
really?
yeah, it's great, and I always get Duracell. That's what I use. That's what I prefer. I've tried the
Yep.
Pro Cell, but the Pro Cell seemed to die quicker than the regular Duracell copper tops. So that's why I got Duracell. I'm always, right now running. I have 7, 9, 11. I have 11 trail cams running, um, and most of them take 8 double A's for each one. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
so it gets quite expensive, so that's why I had to do a lot of searching, and I actually found the site when I used to metal detect a lot,
Yeah.
because your metal detectors tend to eat up a lot of batteries too. But like right now they have a sale going on. You can get 593 double A batteries for $150. Um,
Hmm.
$150 is a lot of money, but if it's something that could last you like more than a year, depending on what you have. It's crazy good prices, and it's way better than any store that I found.
Yeah. Ryan, there's something I wanted to bring up.
Yo,
First of all, everyone on the panel, I know Ryan did, I know Lael did. Fred, did you get to watch my video that I uploaded earlier? 39 minutes long.
Yeah, I got through halfway of it, and the power shut down for about half an hour.
Okay. Now, something Ryan pointed out. Now, Ryan, you made a comment where you said you heard a growl in there, right?
well, yeah, that's what it sounded like. I mean,
Because you said at the 27 mark, and I looked. I said, "Wait a minute! I remember that scenery. I remember hearing something, but it was before that. I tried to listen to that. I said, well, I didn't hear. Maybe I overlooked it or something, but I didn't hear what in the 27 mark. But I heard somewhere before I got into that part of the woods, I heard a weird looking. It sounded like a growl. That was before I heard that whining sound,
Yeah,
which
a lot.
the video audio
it
did pick that up.
it was at like 27 minutes and 27 seconds. You were like turning from one tree to another, and you were like, I think you said like, hold on, or you said something, and I heard like,
Okay.
"Grrr," and I was like, whoa, what is that? But I don't know if it's because I had headphones on and I was listening to it. I could hear it better, but I,
Okay.
I don't know what it was. It was some type of noise. It sounded like a growl.
I'll
Um,
have to check again. All right.
Yeah. Now I tell you, I've been growled at a few times, and a couple of times I never heard the growl.
But your
And
audio picked it up.
right, and a couple of
Uh-huh.
times, well, like I remember I went in the air. Matter of fact, it was the end of last summer. I was going into my the squirrel season. I went into my area and I found a huge sassafras tree that was because I heard a big crack and snap, so that's why I went to it. And when I got halfway to the tree, I was about maybe 20 yards from the tree. I heard a guttural growl. I mean, it was real low, but it was deep. I mean, I felt kind of a little vibration, not much, but when you get a deep guttural growl, you feel it. But a lot of times you can't hear it,
Yeah.
and only audio can pick it up. And like Ryan said, he could have heard it. He might have heard it. And didn't realize it.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's like a lot of times we don't hear what our audio is picking up, but along that time period, if something's happening out there, sometimes we might feel it. Like we might get that feeling of like a type of fear, or that like, okay, there's something here, there's something around,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what infrasound is.
I
Because
know.
we
And he,
get that feeling like you get that, oh no, where is it, what is it, where, you know what I mean? Because I did out in the area I was walking before, and this is just before where Ryan said he heard that growl. I heard something earlier, and I could have sworn the audio, because when I went back through, I could have sworn I picked it up too. But I could have sworn it was before that, so I have to go back through and listen.
yeah.
But
Well,
it was somewhere where I heard some whining, which the whining, it was weird because at first I thought it was a bird, and then I heard it, and it was like, wait a minute, that ain't a bird. What the heck was it? And at one point I thought it was a young deer bleat, a bleat from a deer. I said, no, a deer, that ain't a no deer. I know a deer bleat. I said, that's like a whining tone.
I remember you saying, no, wait a minute, that ain't a bird. I
Yeah,
remember you saying that.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, because the audio, if you listen through the whole
Because
scene, it did pick up though.
because in
You get
on that video where I filmed the family group, um, I said two things. I said, y'all stole my jars and where you at? And Paul Halsley picked up, we are here. And no, when I said jars, he said he picked up, uh-huh. And when I said, where y'all at? Here. And then 2 minutes through. He said it was infra, something like it might have been infra, or, but he picked it up on my video.
hmm,
And and he sent it to me here, uh-huh, and we are here.
hmm,
The infrasound is very intriguing, you know,
yeah,
and the way he put it on the MP3 player for me to hear it, he did something and turned the volume way up 10 second spot, you know, picked it up, So you probably got the same, you probably got some, but you just need to slow it down and turn it by, kick it up or something like that. You might have more of what you think on there. If
right.
you get whining, something
And you
tells
know
me,
what? I was trying to follow the sound of the whine too. I was brave enough to follow. I was curiosity led me to keep going, but it kept, whatever it was. Apparently, it heard me getting closer and closer, and it got distant pretty quick. So,
You need to slow
yeah,
it down,
both.
Daniel.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. See, I've only listened and viewed it through my own phone. Through my I haven't listened through the computer yet, so I'll have to check that out. I know Lael gave a note of, she typed in, and Fred just said something that I'm breaking up, and both Ryan and Lael said Fred was going in and out. I think everybody is. Part of it's the storm. I think we have a storm in the atmosphere around here because we've had some nasty storm weather here.
here.
So if anyone's hearing us being a breakup, as far as viewers, our audios, it's not our fault. It's the weather around here right now. So,
I,
Um,
yeah, we were
actually,
everyone for viewers watching. We're oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say a quick tidbit real quick before I forgot. I wanted to give some information that I ran across uh, from Cliff Brockman. There was a quick thing he posted. It was about a BU researcher. I guess it's a university or whatever. They're doing a lot of research down in, I think it's Laetoli, Tanzania. And what they discovered was some prints that were approximately 3.6 million years old in a layer of ash. And it's the oldest prints in the world. It's the oldest, humanoid foot track. They said it is not human. They were finally able to do a lot of analysis on these footprints, and they uncovered some good information. They're thinking that it's coming from something that they call, I think it's Australopithecus afarensis.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
probably didn't
hell is
say
that?
it.
The
Yeah, I
hell is
probably did.
that?
Well, it's an upright hominid being.
Yep.
That's what they're calling it. I didn't exactly. I don't know if I said it right. Australopithecus afarensis. It's some type of hominid in the link in the
in the human chain.
in the human chain.
Well,
But I
that
thought
might.
I figured I'd throw that out there that the scientists are actually really amped up about this find.
Well,
So
that right.
Will
Yeah.
if you get
you
Well,
a
that.
chance, do some research.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that right there might be our Bigfoot then.
Well, I don't
it
know,
might
but
not.
that's why I brought it up. If it is, they're probably not going to tell you. If it isn't, either way, it's 3.6 million years old, oldest trackway on Earth. There was actually multiple trackways. Um, but what happened is some were like imposed and superimposed on each other. But finally, what they're able to do is use certain technology that they have and pull them apart. So they're able to see smaller tracks, bigger tracks, um, etc. Uh,
Wow.
but I figured
Can
I'd
you,
share that just so anybody
can you
out there, the viewers or you guys in the panel, could.
Hmm.
post that on your page?
What's that, Lael?
Yeah, would you post that on your page so we can check it out later?
Sure will. I
Thank
will
you.
post it
Very
right now.
cool. I love that kind of stuff.
There's like a, I don't know, a 5-minute video maybe about it, where they're talking about it. And it was very intriguing. Being 3.6 million years old, that's uh, for scientists to be able to, you could to determine what it is. And for some reason they're saying it's the afarensis, which must be some type of Africanized. To me, in my opinion, it's an Africanized Bigfoot. Um, they show actual photo, not an actual photo, but like a recreation photo of how they would have looked. They're hominid, they're hair covered, they're bigger. They have the slope. They almost look like a human chimp.
Yeah.
But they
And
kind of they kind of show them.
Yeah.
where
Did you?
what was
Did,
found?
Where was this found? This is in Laetoli, Tanzania.
Okay, Africa.
yeah.
But
Hey.
wasn't did the name have not Australia, but was
Australia. They call it Australopithecus.
wondered if they are they connecting it to Australia?
I don't know, but it's definitely something to look at, because if they obviously have proof of that from 3.6 million years ago, and just because it was in Africa doesn't mean it was not in America. Um, so could it be something that we're seeing today? Just evolution changed them. It might be possible, but like I
Yeah,
just wanted to share that tidbit before Daniel went on about his video.
cool, cool. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Daniel. You had a good
Hold on.
video today. Go ahead. More about
Oh,
it.
let's start. I'm actually trying to look something up here. Hold
Okay.
on.
Did y'all hear about the find they made in Kansas City, Missouri? They found skeletal head, bones, everything of it was a burial ground for What's that word for giants in the Bible? Devilish and something like that.
Uh,
Neph-
Nephilims.
Nephilim.
Yeah, yeah. They found a burial site with giants in it.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because where I live, my county is Chautauqua County.
Yeah,
Uh, we have a place called Lilydale. I'm sure you guys have heard of it.
yeah.
Where all the psychics are. It's world famous. I live probably 10 minutes from there. In that area is Cassadaga, New York, and back in the 1800s, they were finding certain burial mounds also. They were huge. They used to measure in rods back then. That was their
Yeah,
unit of measurement.
yeah,
And some would be, 16 or 160 rods long. And what they were pulling out is 8, 9 foot skeletons out of the banks of Chautauqua Creek and Cassadaga Creek
uh-huh.
and Cassadaga Lake. What they changed their whole theory on is they called them mound builders, MOUND builders, because they were building mounds to live in. They call them earthworks. They built into the ground, kind of like the Pueblo Indians did. Instead of in the mountains, they built into the ground, and they would live in
Uh,
these ground dwellings.
there are a lot of mounds throughout America that are attributed to Native Americans,
And
and
they're
I think a
really,
lot of
yeah, they're not.
and
I believe they're not.
it could be
Hey,
this giant race too.
hey, can I read some?
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
This is
me.
something more in regards to what you were talking about, Ryan.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
read
Leo.
something.
Go
This is
ahead. Go.
actually along with what Ryan was discussing. Okay, no wait, Leia was going first, wasn't she?
Well, I will, but
Yeah, no,
um,
Leia, you finish what you were saying. I didn't. Go
that's
ahead. This could
um,
wait. This could wait. Go ahead.
um, speaking of articles and whatnot. In the last month or so, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, the Smithsonian has admitted that in the early 1900s they destroyed thousands of giant bones.
Hmm.
And I
Oh
think
yeah.
I read the article, and I don't remember exactly if they still admitted that they had some or not, but it was
But
an article that said they had admitted that they had thousands of giant bones that they destroyed way back in the early 1900s.
well, what my thought and opinion, what I would say about that is the Smithsonian very rarely comes out and admits that they're wrong or they did some
Right.
wrongdoing or they
Well,
did some wrongdoing. So
well,
what I'm thinking is, what better way to have the general populace think that you're covering something, not covering something up is, we did it. We got rid of the bones. We destroyed them. But
yep.
in all actuality, they probably still have them, and they've probably been studied and still are studied to this day.
I
That
think I agree. I think they still have
Dude said they
some.
destroyed all the bones because Abraham
I,
Lincoln saw them and he seen some in graves and everything. So
now let me ask you this:
what?
the Smithsonian's one of the best scientific institutes out there.
Yeah,
oh,
but
So
they but
what sense would that make for them to destroy historic bones that are
be,
found?
because it's not part of our culture that we know of.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is they're just
That's
going to tell us
that's
that they did.
that's what they said. That's what they did. They said there should not be no giants on Earth. So all the ones that they found, they destroyed because if the public found out that yeah we had giants on Earth, it would have to rewrite history with the giants in there. So to keep
I
that from
agree.
happening, the Smithsonian Institute destroyed them. But like
Whether
what
whether they destroyed them or not, they
this
said they destroyed,
no no this
and
was
they may still have.
this was coming from a government official who works in the Smithsonian Institute. I used to work inside there doing government work.
And you caught George Washington.
Yep. Yep, that was our job, man. We went to the park where he was in, and I caught him.
Fred caught the statue of George Washington from his head to his toe. Okay,
You,
we'll move on now.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we find in mounds everywhere, but the government, I mean, the Smithsonian, they said they destroyed them because it was not part of history, and like Justin Smayha said, that is not supposed to be here. Well, that's why they're doing it, is because giants should not be on Earth. But yet we're finding, like out in Kansas, and I read this today. No, it was yesterday I read it. That was out in Kansas. And plus it's showing a lot of other photographs I've been seeing here in the last couple of days of giant footprints. I was like from 4 foot long to 8 foot long, maybe 9 foot. That's in the stone itself, you know.
Hmm.
But it's
Hey,
all interesting.
hey, Daniel, can you read that you had?
Daniel's not on right now.
Oh, where'd he go? Oh,
He
I wasn't looking.
he's having trouble with
Oh,
his
damn.
with his connection.
Wait, well,
So I'm
he
taking
said,
over.
let me get it together, and so we went with something else, and damn, we lost him.
Yeah, he'll be back in. But I mean, there's a there's a lot of things that we need to learn. Like that thing. Tell me the name of that critter again, because when you was talking, I couldn't hear half of what you were saying.
Uh, let me see. It was Australopithecus afarensis.
Okay, is that the one that looks like kind of looks like it's an upright primate, humanoid primate, but it looks like a human, but it's all hairy and bigger.
Well, yeah,
That
like a standard Sasquatch, but it's skinnier. I actually shared the link on my page, so if you go there, you'll be able to just under my regular Facebook page, under my name, Ryan Reading. You'll be able.
that sounds to me
Yeah,
Africa.
you broke up against. You broke up against. So I couldn't hear you.
If you just look
It's
under my page, Ryan Reading, on Facebook,
Oh,
you'll be able to see
okay.
the link.
Oh, okay.
And then about like 2 minutes in, she'll talk and show a picture of kind of what they believe they look like.
Well, if it's the same one, if it's the same one, I'll take a. It's probably the same one I saw, but let me take a look here.
And
Okay, but it was in Tanzania, right?
right,
And Tanzania is an island, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
Tanzania? No, not that I know. No, that's part of Africa.
Okay, it's what is it? A little
All
bitty
right.
area, what, on the bottom of Africa? To the
No,
side, to its side?
Tanzania is on like the east, right below like the equator. I don't really know how to say it, but it would be the eastern mid portion. It's actually, it's by Lake Victoria. It's
Okay,
just
so it's not on the Australia
Yeah.
side.
it's on the Indian Ocean side, just below the equator. And Lake Victoria would be in its northwest corner.
Okay, okay. I
All
got
right.
it done.
Yeah.
I'm just
Sorry, I
trying to
lost
put
connection, everybody. It's
Yeah, it's the
area.
weather.
My weather
yeah,
moved.
it's bad. It may happen again, so just get.
I was going to ask you to
I,
read what you
Hey,
had.
before I get disconnected, could I read?
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is I have that little thing pulled up on my phone. This is in regards to what Ryan was talking about the Australopithecus. For one thing, Pithecus is actually, it comes from the Greek term meaning ape.
Right.
Here's just a brief thing. It's talking about just some examples. Examples are Australopithecus, in parentheses, Latin, Australis means meaning southern. A fossil bipedal primate found in the Pliocene and lower Pliocene deposits in Africa. The Let's see, Drypithecus, Greek for tree or a fossil. Yeah, druss or whatever. It's with some weird terms in here, so if you'll hear me pronounce some weird stuff. Um, a fossil anthropoid ape that may be the common ancestor of gorillas, chimpanzees, and humans. Gigantopithecus. We're all familiar with Gigantopithecus, a very large fossil Asian ape of the upper Miocene to the lower Pliocene epochs.
Yeah,
The
giant. Yeah, giant.
Ramapithecus
Yeah,
from
orangutan.
the
Yeah.
Rama in the Hindu pantheon, a fossil anthropoid ape of the Miocene epoch, known from remains found in Southwest Asia and East Africa, and probably ancestral to the orangutan. So that there was pretty interesting because Australopithecus, a southern, referring to southern apes. Like I said, from Africa to East, and then you get gigantic. They're all relation to They're all forms of bipedal apes. So that's pretty interesting.
I was trying to take the Australia beginning, the Gigantopithecus middle, and the what was the end of the word anyway, and try to connect them to.
Yeah, the Pithecus is just referring to ape,
Yeah.
and keep in mind you got the Australian Pithecus, and then you got the Drypithecus. Yeah, Dryo to pronounce it right, Dryopithecus. Um, and the Ramapithecus, which is from Hindu. The Hindu is a form of Asian, another type of Asian ape.
I have a
Uh,
Facebook friend in India. Um,
hmm.
I might ask him about.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's pronounced it's Rama, Rama. Then you got the word Pithecus, Pithecus.
Maybe I'll ask him about that.
And then yeah,
And
like I said,
see what he
yeah.
can tell. He's Hindu, and see if he can tell me any stories or folklore. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get into asking
Mm,
people questions like that all the time, especially once you learn about their heritage or whatever, if they learned of anything. Because sometimes,
yeah,
I believe that there's information and stories out there that may have some truth behind them that a lot of us don't get to hear about. Only hearsay, more or less. So,
exactly.
um,
But most folk tales and that kind of thing do have a meaning from back when.
yeah, yeah. Fred, yeah, Connie did send me that picture. It's the same one that we were speaking of.
Oh,
Um,
okay. All right.
let's see. Hold on. Now I'm catching up on. I got Tasmania. All right. I must have missed a few things before I got back on. Were you guys talking about Tasmania?
I can't remember now.
Tasmania. It's somebody put on
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Tasmania. It's an island by Australia.
Oh, that
Right.
was Leo. That was Leo asking.
I asked
Oh,
that.
okay. I'm just now seeing all this on the live chat. So
Yeah, and Ryan, I knew Tasmania was out there somewhere in that chunk of the world, but
all
Right.
right.
got me straight on where Tasmania was. I
Hmm.
think that
Well, that's
might have been
cool.
about New Zealand.
And I'm seeing a comment from Connie Fox. She said, I guess referring when we were talking about the trail cameras.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, they are. Let's see something about, yeah. She uses them there. Hold on, where did it? where do I miss her? She said, I have tried game cameras here, and they avoid them like the plague.
I think
Oh,
so too.
yeah, and then she was also responding to your question that you were asking about earlier, Fred. She said, "LOL. Yeah, they are. Seems like the more I go out, they seem to act up more when I go out." She says.
Yeah, I've been trying to get down there, man. I just ain't had time or the money to get down there.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know how that is.
Yeah, but her,
It's not easy.
yeah, but her area. I mean, it's a wild looking area, man. You know, I mean, she don't even. I mean, she can pull up in the car and they know the sound of her car flat out.
Hmm.
When she rolls up, they roll out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Tell you, another thing too. Like I said, this time of year, I know I've been seeing a lot of bear signs. Yeah. So, especially right into my camp area, the area I've been camping at. Like I mentioned the other day, there's a lot of fresh bear sign there. I have yet to post those pictures and stuff too. There's one thing that's not in the video I uploaded earlier. I might have showed maybe one or two, maybe. But I actually took pictures and I didn't include them in the footage. But walking through the area I was walking in, there was, it was pretty thick in most of it, and there was these pine saplings about between anywhere from 2 to 3 inches round, and the ones that were just bent over, just like stuck bent over, and these pine saplings were probably about 7, 8 foot tall, some of them, and some of them was just, like I said, bent over. Of course, down by the, close to the ground, they were around 4 or 5 inches round. And I believe a lot of these could be associated with bears because I have seen some bear sign in there. And then, but it's the ones that I found that were bent over and the limbs twisted around, and one limb tied into the other one going up. Like, I don't know, some weird, bizarre stuff. I mean, I'm gonna try to get those pictures uploaded. So it kind of made me, I got to think. I said, Squatch has been through here because I did find some tracks in there, and the tracks were, the impressions I found were pretty clear and pretty distinct. They stood out pretty good. So I have no doubt there has been a Squatch through there. I don't know how recently, but you know, and that was it was one area. I thought it was a trail when I first ventured into this area. There was no trail. It went straight into the woods. I was under the assumption, because apparently I was in the wrong area, because I was looking for a location that was supposed to lead to a power line section in the woods, and that definitely was not it. But the further I went up, the more I was seeing stuff. I was like, man, I gotta keep checking this out. This is pretty cool up through here. So, but I mean, it did go into, I guess, somewhat of a clearing. Maybe years ago it was cleared through there, but it was very well grown in, and I mean there was a lot of pine trees and saplings all around. But all the way over to the far left, excuse me, right, I did see. I mean it was full of laurel brush and oaks, So I mean the laurel brush in there was like seriously thick. I mean so if there was something hiding there, I wouldn't have seen it. So, but yeah, it was a pretty good little adventure and hike up through there. And man, the thorns and the briars, man, they were nasty. I tried to avoid them at all costs, but they were just clinging on left and right. So, um,
I not to change subject off topic real quick. I got a
oh no,
message.
you're fine.
Does everybody know Paul Hayes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a guest on our show before.
Yeah, he was actually just saying he's seen some of our stuff, and I was asking him about podcasts, and he said he'd probably be willing to come back on, but uh, he'll have to think about it because Fridays and Saturdays, starting this week, he's going to be in the field researching, and he goes to Southern
Okay.
Ohio for the whole weekend, every weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I know he. Man, when we had him on before, it was awesome. He shared some pretty good stuff. He's affiliated with Dr. Jeff Meldrum. He's had him at you know local gatherings and stuff before that that they were putting on over there in Ohio. Um, and that was when it was about a year ago we've had him on here. Um, so yeah, I think it'd be great to get him back on here. So definitely, yeah, definitely put the word in. Anytime after, well, I'll tell you what, after tonight, let's see, what's today? Tuesday? No, today's Monday, right? Um,
Some days I lose
trying to think.
track.
Yeah, it's actually Monday. Let's see. Probably after tomorrow. I probably ain't doing nothing tomorrow, but let's see. I don't know. I'll figure it out because I know I'm not doing no podcast for the weekend because we'll be out in the woods.
Yeah, I know that's what
Yeah.
happens to everybody. And then I know the Ohio conference is coming up too, so a lot of people are busy there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's going on this month too. I forgot about that because
I was like
I
so mad.
know.
I was gonna go this year, and when I asked for VIP tickets, the lady was like, "Yeah, we have them." I was like, "All right, I want to purchase 6 of them." And she's like, "I'll get right back to you." 20 minutes later, she's like, "I guess the other guy or whatever sold the last of them this morning." Um, and I'm not going to go unless I have the VIP tickets, just for the fact that the big difference is the main difference. I don't care about the food or anything else. It's the actual interactions. They have it set up where I don't know if any of you have gone to it, but if you don't have the VIP tickets, you're in a separate room or two, and you have to like watch it on a monitor. Um,
Really?
yeah, the VIPs are strictly for the main room where you can see the speakers, actual be in the room, et cetera, interact with them, and all that stuff. So I just
Wow.
can't see paying the money to go sit in a room and watch them on TV anyway.
I mean, this is my honest opinion. And I've could, if I wanted to, I mean, 'cause we've talked about it before, and I think I would love to go to one of these, but it's just like, well, you go to hear these people talk, and then you might not even get to meet them, but you're paying all this money, and I'm sure it's a good thing to be a part of. I really do. I mean, I'm glad they do this every year. I think it's a good thing that they have.
But you can
You know,
hear them talk on YouTube.
exactly. I mean, why pay money? I mean, if you're just, you're paying these people just to hear them talk. I mean, I mean, I mean,
Not that you don't respect them and
right,
want to hear
exactly.
them, but
I mean,
yeah,
it's great to hear somebody with a degree and highly educated talk. I mean, I mean, like you said, Leo, you can hear some of these same people talk on podcasts, and and then
exactly,
you can even interact with them on a podcast. That's why we try to have
exactly,
guests on. Yeah, that's why we bring guests on so we get to interact with them. That's why we want viewers so the viewers could interact with them along with us on the panel. So that's that's why we love having these shows, you know.
Right.
But
Well, I like to hear things. I like to learn. It's not. I mean, I like to learn from the skeptics, and I like to learn from people that have encounters, because everybody's got something to share. Um, but it's the real in-depth researcher that I like to pick their brain.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you wonder how often some of these certain individuals that are, with these big degrees and, that will only talk if the price is right, you wonder how much in-depth research they really do. Yeah, they do a lot of out of the field research, and yeah, some of these ones that we're familiar with have gone out in the field. But you know what? They're getting paid to go out in the field because they're also part of documentaries that are paying them to be on their documentary.
Right.
So I think that's the most research they're actually doing in the field. You know, but if I don't
But
know
there's
if
some
I'm
things that. Oh, sorry.
no, I'm sorry. I'm just saying I don't know if I'm the only one observing that, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. But go ahead.
You're correct, but you do have to remember. Uh, Not only are they putting their neck on the line, like let's just use Dr. Meldrum for example.
Okay.
He's putting his neck on the line for what he's doing.
Oh, you're right.
So I
Absolutely.
understand. So
That's
his reputation's at stake. Everything he's learned is at stake from being an anthropologist and everything that he does. So he should feel the right to get some type of money. But I get what you're saying. When some people want like $10,000 to come out to do something, or $15,000, it gets a little bit ridiculous and redundant. And then they try to keep the original casts, and give you, samples back, or you never know what you're getting. But I do know for a fact from people that I've spoke to, um, there is some evidence out there that has been hidden, um, via, maybe Matt Moneymaker may have it, maybe, things like whatever Meldrum has, but some of their stuff they keep hidden from the public, for various reasons. I don't know why, but so that there's a lot of stuff going on out there that, like you said, it's not all legitimate per se, and some of it is to make money. Because here's the thing: if Meldrum, Bindernagel, all your top guys that are out there right now that basically paved the way for us, come out, give all their evidence, and say, "Bam, here it is. Here's the proof. We've had it for the last 10 years." There's no more money in it. There's no more money for them to make in it. There's no reason to go looking. Uh, there's no reason to have anybody get paid to come down and do a video or a documentary. It's all laid out for you. So
well,
they stand to lose a lot of money just by proving it.
well, Ryan. You don't get. Man, I've got the hiccups. You don't put everything you have,
I
do you?
No, I don't. Definitely not. Well, that's just that. But see, I'm not getting paid like they are. That
Well,
is pure.
I,
Go ahead.
I know, but the thing is, don't ever give away everything you know. Keep something back,
Well, yeah.
even if or like me, if I'm a nobody, which I am, in the Bigfoot world. If I go next weekend and I take a clear, vivid picture of a Bigfoot, not that I would or could, but I'm not going to come right home and post it right online for everybody to see.
Well, I
I'm
get.
going to I'm going to treasure it and keep it and bide my time and talk to Fred and you know nobody should put out everything they got.
No, that's
And
respectable. Yeah, everybody should hide something a little bit, but then you get into the other aspect of, why hide it if we're trying to show people they exist? I mean, I know they exist, other guys do too, but that's just from visual sightings with them face to face. Um, but as my standpoint, like I'm more like a Stacy Brown researcher. I don't. I mean, money's great. It'd be nice to have that passive income. Uh,
oh yeah,
but just to go look for Sasquatch. But I don't think it's right to hold things back. I mean, that's just how I am. There's a few things I have. I might not tell you I might not tell people the whole story, but I'll give you the gist of it. And what I do share, I share with very few people. But as far as some photos and some things I put out there, but then people, they
yeah, but
prove things.
if any of us were to get anything really stupendous, you got to be careful what you do with it and how you do with it.
Well, why do you say you have to be careful?
Because okay, like
Look what happened to me and Paul Halsley.
people will steal your shit, take your shit, I don't, excuse my language, I don't usually talk quite that bad, but people will take your stuff, steal your stuff, run down your stuff, and use your stuff. And I think there are a lot of people out there too who are knowers that were seekers, and once they actually saw it for themselves, decided that they didn't want to tell because they didn't want it hunted or that type of thing. And I don't know. I've not seen one. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I do know
What?
if for some reason I got a great picture this weekend, I wouldn't just smack it right out there to start with. I would sit on it and talk to you and Fred and Daniel and whatever about it before I. You see what I'm saying, Ryan?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I totally do. But I just feel that it's turned all for money nowadays. It's gotten ridiculous.
It's a money racket anymore.
I agree. I agree with that. And if I could make a chunk of money, woohoo, okay. But I wouldn't want to make a chunk of money at the expense of,
Other people.
yeah, and 100 other people rushing out to kill a Bigfoot.
But then people would say, okay, well, Lael got the best photo known about Bigfoot, so this university, you're going to hold it back. But then this university calls you and says, well, we're going to give you $50,000 for your photo. Then you're falling into the same lines as everybody else. I mean, that's where the
That
fine
would
line. Do you
that
see what
would be hard. God, wouldn't it be hard?
Do you see what
Why?
I'm saying?
Yeah. Why do
Yeah,
you want to make? Why do you want to make money off of something that's totally free?
but
Everybody,
Because
everybody.
because everybody can experience it. Everybody's not a hunter. Everybody's not a tracker. Do you notice that the people that don't hunt or don't have the outdoor experience or the background, they have no idea what they're doing in the woods. A lot of them never see them. They don't even know their scat. They don't know what animal sounds are out there. They're starting. It's going to take. That's why it takes them 20 years to figure things out. You know, I've been hunting for 20 years, so I like you maybe even more. You guys been out there, but you know what's out there. You know the sounds. You know what you see. You know what's odd. You know what to look for. They don't know that. They need to be taught that essentially. So that's why people like us, when we share, they see those things and they're like, wow, maybe that's what I should be looking for. Like I stated earlier or the other podcast. Um, we kind of myself I got a crash course, thanks to Meldrum and Bindernagel and Renee DeHinden and all these great researchers. We got the crash course. We're lucky. We just took it and ran with it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
what
So
what's the dude's name, Ryan, that you shared his post the other day? He was toting his little boy.
oh, Utah Sasquatch.
Yeah,
I've actually I want to talk to that guy, but I don't know his real name and I cannot find him. And he
but
gets a lot of YouTube views, 10,000 views, and he just seems like a down to earth guy that really doesn't care and does his own thing. But I really want to learn what he's doing. He says some things that are interesting, and he says some things that I totally do not agree with, but that doesn't matter. Um,
well,
I still want to learn.
he said he was talking about, so much of what he said was about was like what he'd learned in the military, and I can agree that that would help. Learning how to duck down and hide, be still for hours, all of that kind of thing. But I think also he may happen to be in a good area where they are. So
He seems credible.
plus and plus, he's kind of got a double good whammy. You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
if he if he has the military experience to duck down to figure this out, figure that out, and he's also in an area where they are um not I don't want to say abundantly, but but where they are, then he's got a double stroke of luck. And that's what he said basically. You know, I'm not
Right.
smarter than anybody else. I've just figured this and this and this out. I
Right.
liked him. And that baby was so cute.
Yeah, he seems genuine. Another thing I was going to ask the panel is, do you guys know Tony Burke? And if you do, or what do you think about their research? I'm not too sure who they research with, or who he's with. I don't know if it's Rocky
I
I
Mountain
know.
think
or
Tony Burke. He's part of the Appalachian. I think he's part of Kentucky himself, if I'm not
Kentucky, right?
mistaken.
I know the
Yeah,
name.
because both. Yeah, he's a truck driver, and I think there's a few times. Most of the time, he's by himself, I believe. I mean, he's had his
I,
daughter, his
I,
young girl, out with him, but
yeah, I've had him on the show before.
oh, have
Yeah.
you?
And he keeps a dash cam part of the time.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've had him on the podcast before.
I do have one of those. They come in handy.
I'm
Hey,
friends with him on Facebook, but I don't know him.
all
Right.
right. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna do a screen share. Let's get everybody's opinion. This is the
Okay.
one that Fred was talking about earlier. This belongs to Connie Fox, and this is a zoomed-in image. Keep in mind, it's zoomed in.
Okay. Now, me and Daniel and Connie only us knows what it is. That's not the one I'm talking about, but it's
This
close.
is this is the one she said. This is what you're talking about.
No, no,
That's
no, no. It's something different.
blurry.
But that right
Because
It
there
looks
is a
in there, but
this looks like a coned head, and here looks like an eye right here, a nose, and then the other eye's kind
well,
of hiding behind a stick.
I was looking
yeah.
at it like wolf.
What what it is? It's got long hair. It's got like a beard. You can see his nose. You can see his right eye, his left eye, his forehead. And you can see the coned head and his massive shoulders. He's kind of like standing, kind of like almost straight, but he's turning his upper half a little bit and looking through there. That's
Is
what you
that
can
the
see.
arm going down the our left side?
He's standing between some trees in a brush and some brush.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the one. She was saying it was possibly belly crawl.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm seeing if she's still watching. Oh, wait a minute. No.
my friend said it. I saw
Now,
the up above and the come down to a point between the trees, and I thought footprint, but yeah, I can see if it could be hair and yeah, the eyes and
yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
yes,
that's
I
what I want to
believe it.
share.
Well, it's
Oh,
Well,
possible.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah. If Connie's
as
still
I,
watching, I'm hoping she is, so that way she
I,
can say something on this.
yeah, I'm gonna
If
do
she,
something here.
I,
All right, I'm
I
gonna
still
message her for a minute.
hey, see if she could call your phone, Fred, and see if we can get on the phone for a couple minutes.
Pat's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna message her and
um
tell her. I'm gonna message her and tell her what picture I was talking about.
Yeah, and tell her to send it to me, and I'll do a screen share.
All right,
Or yeah, if she sends it to me, or she could if she
but
sends it to
send it.
you, then you can send it to me. Either way, I can get it.
I've
So
said 100 times before, um, just because we can't see exactly, we weren't the ones there looking at it. And when you're looking at it, it's a hell of a lot different than the picture. So you can't, I try never to disregard. If they said they saw it, then maybe they did, you know.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, now this is the one I just shared. If it's, I remember seeing the original footage, and it was actually quite distant. So this was actually, a zoomed in image. Now, if by some chance, if the pixels, you know, made it that way and made it look like an image, like there was a face there, I don't know. It's hard to say. But in that picture there, I personally, and anyone who knows me, I'm not quick to say any blurry photos a face or a Bigfoot. But that one there, I actually have to say, honestly, it looked like or appeared to be a face with a nose in it, even though it was blurry as heck. I
Yeah.
mean,
Daniel.
it looked like the face, it looked like the shape of a head and everything. I found that to be a little, interesting.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
Daniel.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell Connie that I just messaged
All right. I
her.
don't. Let me see if she's online, because she messaged me not long ago. Yeah, she's online now.
Yeah, tell her I just
Because
messaged
as
her.
and as I said before, I lived in the North Carolina mountains 15 years. I've lived on the creek here on the water the rest of my life. You can take pictures of the mountain of the view, 100-mile view, and it's so gorgeous. But when the picture comes out, it's a pretty picture, but it isn't as great as what you saw
Yeah.
when you took.
Let me see if I can do
And
this
I
real
think the same
quick.
way with Bigfoot. If you
Yeah.
took
The
the
pic.
picture, you know what you saw. And the rest of us can say yes or no what we think, but the person who took the picture knows what they were looking at.
See
Yeah.
this? Do you guys see this one?
Oh yeah. Good job. Yeah. Hey, do you have the option of presenting it to everyone?
I think if you click on my photo, it comes up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I forgot. Only the host
It
could present it to
popped
everyone.
up twice, but it went right away.
That
All right,
right
there we
there.
go. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it enlarged.
that right there looks like he's kind of looking down to his, kind of down in front of him. You can see his nose, you can see his brow line, see one black eye,
I
and
caught that. I caught that one
it
last
looked like
spring.
he's got a little goatee down there at the bottom of his chin. But you can see the coned head behind that limb. You can see how high his head is behind the
Is it going to
eye.
be like a little white light spot?
Hold
Yeah.
on one second. Sorry.
I'll tell
Hey,
you exactly what he's looking at.
hey, Fred. Connie said she's trying to remember which one you're talking about.
Tell her to go to tell her to go to her messenger, man. I'll tell her to. I just messaged her,
Yeah.
and it'll say what I'm talking about.
Can you guys see this one now?
Yeah, I can.
Um, I
Explain it to
circled it. I circled it in red. If you make it bigger, I
I
don't know
don't
if you
see. I
can.
don't see nothing. No, I don't see nothing. That's just okay. I'm gonna say the word, but I'm not gonna say it.
You're gonna say
Hey,
pareidolia.
pareidolia.
Well, if
Hey,
you
hey,
Oh
look,
man, you
okay,
if
okay.
wait a minute.
Whoa! I tell you what. Take that photograph and turn it into a negative.
I don't know if I can because it's all digital. How do I do that?
Oh shit, my
Oh wait a
wife.
minute. This is on your phone. You should be able to go under editing and do. You should be able to. I have it on my phone.
Yeah, because if it's something there, that negative will definitely show it. It'll make it stick out like a sore thumb.
So you just go to gallery, and it'll take me a little bit to do that.
All right, well, take your time,
Yeah.
but you.
I don't
Okay,
see
and
it,
but I was
obviously,
trying to. Can you see my mouse?
but
Yeah, I see your
now,
mouse moving around. Yeah.
Like right here, there's an eyebrow, a brow ridge. You could see the eye. You could see nostrils right
yeah.
here. There's like a head. This is up in a tree. You see the tree is gray, and you see the
Yeah.
black coming back here.
Ah,
Blue.
okay. I didn't see
I,
that. I didn't notice that part.
Yeah.
you see the face right here?
I barely.
Hey,
Is he
hey,
looking
Ryan. If
between?
I'm
Is he,
looking at it right, it looks like he's got a big fat nose with big nostrils.
Right there's the nostrils, A
Yep.
and B.
That's what I'm seeing.
When I was taking the photo this direction down to the left corner, and a lady pointed this out. It was up in a tree. She's like, look up in the right corner. So that's what I did, and I zoomed into that corner because this is a zoomed in photo, obviously, and I'm able to see this. And then it outlined, here's the black, and the tree's obviously gray. So then I started looking. I was like, wow, you could see like the eyebrow and the eyes. You could see the big nose with the two nostrils.
Yeah.
And so I saved that photo because, you know, it's not here nor there, but if I can get a negative of it, that'd be even better to prove.
I can kind of see what you're talking about, though now, Ryan. Yeah.
Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
Connie said she messaged you asking you which one,
Oh,
and if
yeah, I
Connie
just
could call you now, 'cause Pat's off the phone. She's posting stuff on Facebook now. I just
all
got a
right.
notification.
Okay, okay. Tell her to call. Wait a
Connie.
minute.
All
I'm gonna
right,
give
hold
you.
on.
I'm gonna give her my phone number.
And
All
then
right.
I figured I'd share one more with you guys.
I see. I
Um,
think I saw in one of your. I think I've seen that, Ryan.
yeah, this is the one that Steve Culls and them wanted to come out and take a look at. We actually have other photos of this. The trail camera was back here, this direction, but the trail runs this direction. And there's just like pines that run up here. We actually have a figure that comes down the pines, goes into the woods, and about 4 minutes later, this is the photo coming back out. But what I did is I turned it black and white to
Right.
see it
Yeah.
better because the top was a little reddish, the people were saying, and they were like, well, this is a skier.
That's not a
And,
scare.
and I fought with them and argued with them, and it's no sense. But you could see how long the arm wrapped around the tree is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you
But
could see it
now,
conical.
could I say a little something on this?
Definitely.
Well, all right. I mean, you seem like you won't take no offense on my opinion.
Nope.
This is just the way I'm looking at it, though. There's definitely a subject there walking. That's no doubt about that. But in the view and what I'm seeing in this one here, because I can't use my mouse for you guys to see what I'm looking at, but yeah, I see there's an arm extended out, and then you can see there's legs. Now all right, bring your mouse arrow to the back a little bit. All right, come up a little bit. All right, there's like a square looking image there.
Here?
What's making me think? Yeah, all around there, it's like kind
You,
of a yeah. Go
but
down a
now
little bit further,
you got to
Could
remember.
and
could
then
Hold
be,
on.
go to
babe.
the right.
Here?
Yeah, and then go up a little higher. Yeah, because I was basically making you form out a square. Because what I'm looking at there is a possible. I'm not saying it is, but what I'm saying is a possible backpack from somebody, or
I got it.
maybe that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, this is what I want to share to you guys. Everybody
Right.
thinks the
Hello.
subject is.
How you doing, Connie?
I think the
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna mute Fred for just a second and let you finish. Go ahead, finish what you were saying, Ryan.
Everybody thinks that the subject is walking from left to right. Right? That's what you guys are thinking, left to right.
The way
Well,
I'm looking at it, looks like it's walking away from you.
it's actually
yeah.
walking toward. It's walking towards you.
Oh, okay. Because all right,
See the hand out wrapped around the backside of the tree?
Yes.
okay.
The subject is coming out of this laurel, out of the brush, walking toward the trail. That's why this foot is cut off. It's extended out this way, and that's the back
Gotcha.
foot. Back foot's going that way. The camera was facing it that way. This would be its frontal.
And it
That
okay. Now that you point that out, I could say it does have, just judging from the picture, it has broad shoulders.
very broad shoulders, and that was the thing
Yeah.
that I got in an argument with Darren Lee about. Because he was saying it was a skier. I said, well, you don't have the whole backstory. You don't have all the footage. The subject had come. There's like 3 clips. You see 1, 2, 3, and it makes an abrupt right, goes in along the pines. You could see it take 2 steps. It's gone into the pines, and 4 minutes later, it's exiting back out. And we saved
Okay.
all that footage. If I can look it up, it would take me a while. Maybe on the next podcast, I could share it with you guys.
Why
All right.
couldn't it be a
Well,
baby
check
on
this.
her back?
What's that?
Yeah. What?
I said, why couldn't it be a baby on her back?
You know, that's funny you say that. Maybe that is a her.
Yeah, you never
Totally baby.
know.
Maybe those are breasts.
You've got, um,
That may
yeah, just
be.
middle, some light and some dark, like and I don't know, but maybe like a arm, leg hanging on, or it could be a baby.
Actually, you know
Hey,
what's funny? If you see that, that looks like a baby. See right here, down
Good.
and
yeah,
back?
Look at that. Yeah.
yeah.
That is kind of odd. I never really did
Not
look at
that
that.
it really isn't, but
I mean, you
couldn't
can't
that
jump.
be?
Well, see, the reason we did this is because um, what we did is we did a recreation. So what we did is we went out there, we got all the heights, the camera height, the angle of the ground. The ground falls away over here from the camera 22 inches. The angle was between negative 1.5 and positive 3. We used a laser rangefinder to get the distance, and it was 95 yards. And the only reason the camera, I believe, took a photo is there was a piece of grass right here next to the camera, and when the wind blew, it was blowing the goldenrod over, and it snapped the photo. And I think it was caught on accident in a bunch of photos because that like February 7th was really windy up here. Because that's quite a distance. And then the reference tree over here was like 7.7 feet tall. So we started using all that, and we stuck it into the Pythagorean theorem, and we ended up coming out with a subject that's kind of hard to use, but 9.8 foot tall. But which makes sense because it coincides with the 10-foot male that we had seen. So that's why Steve and them want to come out to actually get all the correct numbers, let them do their own recreation, let them, I don't want to give them any influence. I just want to set the camera up where it was and let them figure everything out. And when they come up with their own height, because if you look at the proportions, those are
Yeah.
very big proportions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to interrupt you. We got Connie Fox on the phone right now.
Okay,
Cool.
we can come back and do
All
that
right.
later. Hello, Connie.
All right. Hey, Fred, go ahead and unmute you. I had to mute you earlier because Ryan was talking. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I know he hears me.
I'm gonna mute and I'll be right back.
All right.
What's he saying? I'm on the phone.
Well, I know. Okay, but he kept messaging and saying Connie's on the phone.
Can you text him
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, we want to hear. We want to talk to Connie.
Well, y'all the one muted me.
There you go.
Well, Ryan was in the middle
Hold
of
on, man. Let me
talking.
explain this a little bit.
All right.
Okay, Connie, go ahead. All right, Daniel,
Hey,
she's on the phone.
Connie, how you doing?
I'm sitting here listening to you guys and talking to him at the same time.
Hey, it's awesome to finally talk to you. I want everybody to give her a round of applause.
Hi.
All right, there you go. Well, so Connie, what could you tell us about your recent findings here? I mean, we seen your, you got an awesome looking track there that you have posted online. And besides that, I know we were just talking about your photo. Did you and Fred ever figure out what exactly, what photo you guys were trying to discuss? I don't know if she heard me.
Hey, Connie,
Yeah.
Daniel just asked you. Now the photograph was someone else, but I tell you what, she's got a footprint. It's got 6 toes on it. That she
6
cast,
toes.
yeah, she cast it today.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't realize. I just know it had a display of toes on it. I didn't count the toes, but it. I mean, it was a perfect looking foot for a squatch. I
Yeah.
mean,
You want to
I mean,
explain
yeah. I
you
mean,
want to
I've had some
explain
pretty decent ones, but
you want to explain the feet that cast you got, Connie?
Yeah, well, when I found it, I found the print, And when I saw it, it just looked like a regular 5-toe. So I figured I wasn't going to case it, but I decided to go ahead and case it anyway. And then when I got home and cleaned the cast off, that's when I found the extra toe in it. It just blew my mind when I found it. But before I found it, I saw it moving up above. The track was pretty fresh. And there was a trackway, 4 foot all up above it, heading toward power line. But I couldn't get no good pictures or nothing of them.
Oh, okay.
I never found one like that before.
Where did she find it? Where's her research area?
Kentucky.
Yeah, she's in Kentucky.
It wasn't too far from my house.
What county? I meant.
Yeah, what county?
Lee County.
Well,
Say what?
It's,
Wait a minute.
I'm about a 30-minute drive from Natural Bridge.
All right, can you hear now? Yeah, I heard it, Daniel. Daniel, I see it.
okay.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I'm talking Daniel.
Yeah.
Does she sound
Okay.
clear?
Actually, that's better. Yeah, because it sounded a lot clearer now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Now, she asked you, what county are you in?
I'm in Lee County.
Lee County?
Yeah.
She's in Lee County, Kentucky.
Yeah, Lee County, Kentucky. I'm about a 30-minute drive from Natural Bridge State Park.
30-minute drive from Natural Bridge State Park.
Oh.
You know where that's at?
Awesome.
Is that like?
What it is.
Oh, it's like my hometown. You blink your eye, you don't went through it. And
Put
everything.
this way. You drive through it, if you break, you miss it.
Well, that's the way it is in my hometown. Everything.
That's how small it is.
Ah,
I
okay.
can tell by her accent. No,
Hi.
Hey, Connie, we got a question on the live chat for you.
We got a question.
Huh?
All right, she said okay.
YouTube user Star Knight is asking, was it just one single foot, or was there a possible double foot, like 2 feet in there, which maybe would have caused that to have 6 toes? Like, was there possibly another one next to it?
I couldn't really tell for sure. Because that's the only soft spot I could found. And the other spots was going up to going up to the power line. Which wasn't far from the power line. Because I followed the trail up to the power line, and that's where I lost it.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, sometimes I know with tracks and impressions, I know a lot of them are funny because, it's hard to tell what else might be next to it or around it. I know when I find my tracks, I'll notice the impression in the leaves. If it depends on where you're walking or whatnot. Even in the pine litter, if you're walking through a whole area full of pine trees and the ground's full of pine litter and some leaves, and if I see a track in there that stands out to me, to find actually more detail about the track, I'll actually very carefully remove all of the leaf litter, little by little, till it reveals the track. Because a lot of times, then you'll see a lot of your details, like the toes, and then again, sometimes I found other tracks. Like I found a Squatch track with a bear track next to it, and these tracks, when I say a Squatch track with a bear track, I'm talking about a 15-inch track with a small bear track right next to it. Sometimes we don't realize that detail till we remove some of the debris and the litter away. And then this goes again with what I was saying earlier in the podcast and what I've stated on videos is the Squatches follow the bears. And every piece of evidence I find and the patterns I keep finding, this is what I keep finding, that the bears and Squatches travel the same routes or vice versa. It could be one or the other following the other. Or so this is, it's like I said, it's a pattern I found.
There was a deer come off the power line over into the woods close to it. But it wasn't. It ain't like something chased it because it was running.
Did you keep looking back?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, something was following and everything. That's
Interesting.
yeah, 'cause I've noticed. I watched two does one day, and usually when I'm in the woods, or and during the springtime or in the mid part of summer, the deer really ain't worried about us, worried about me much, 'cause they just look at you, and kind of run off by 20 yards and stop and look at you, then go about foraging. But that day I noticed that their ears, one ear was toward us, the other ear was toward the brush, and their tail was at half mast. And about 20 seconds later, they looked like he stuck dynamite up their ass, and they hauled ass. Something spooked them. But I know it wasn't a coyote.
That doe. I've walked up on there, and they've never run that fast for me.
Yeah.
And I walk up on them all the time.
Yeah,
same
Connie.
way.
The same YouTube user, Sternite. They made a good point after your explanation. Um, as far as the 6 toes of this track, this would be a good way to identify and keep track of this particular Bigfoot. If this is a squash that's working your area that you're in, you keep an eye for tracks. If you see 6 toes, then you know it's the same one. So yeah, Starlight made a good point. And they also mentioned that you can name it 6 toes, or maybe you come up with your own name, like Fred does for his 11-foot. He calls it Henry.
Yeah. I got 11-footer I call
So,
Henry in my area.
I know they stay pretty quiet till I hit the woods, and then when I hit the woods, they turn on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 'cause I can hear them
awesome.
all around me. Sometimes they'll whistle at me. Sometimes they'll just knock. It just depends on, I guess, what kind of mood they're in.
Oh, yeah. Cute,
You
that.
know, when there's something that's dangerous is around because they get real close to it. So there's a threat around to me, I guess.
Yeah.
So close in around me. But as soon as the threat is gone, they back off.
Uh-huh. That's
To me,
definitely
I just call them a hairy bodyguard.
everybody.
You know, because they take it off with the hair beard.
Yeah. Hey, how far are you from the Virginia line?
If I guess, about a 2-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
2 hours? That's not bad at all. Wow, that's actually pretty good.
Because I know I'm about 2 hours from Tennessee, so from both ways is the same direction, so it's about 2 hours each way.
All right, if you're 2 hours from the Virginia line, if once you hit Virginia, you're probably another 4 hours from us. So yeah, you're looking at around a 6-hour drive. Would you ever travel six? Would you ever drive 6 hours?
I've done it. I'm lucky if I drive 4 hours. I've never done 6 hours.
The reason I asked that, we got our big annual ECBRO expedition coming up here in June, like right here in Virginia.
I want to try to
So,
go do it this year.
yeah, so yeah, if you're able to, if you want to, and if you're able to, come on up, June 4th through the 11th, right up here in our national forest. So,
That's good.
yeah, we're expecting we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have
Yeah.
some team events. We're gonna have some serious nighttime investigations. So, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
absolutely.
didn't know anybody around here knew about Bigfoot being around here. Until I got talking to some of my older neighbors, and they know all about them. They've known about them for years.
Yeah. Now I know.
Them, and they don't bother nothing to them. They don't follow them.
that's a good
Now
way
I
to
know
put it.
Tony Burke. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe Tony Burke is in Kentucky. There is. Let me think of the other name. There's another name I know very well. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. I know there's other locals out of Kentucky that do their own research. Perhaps maybe one day you guys, huh?
Bigfoot is in Kentucky with Thomas Shea or something like that. which they have been here. They
Yeah.
can't get back by spring, but they only stayed one night. We're supposed to stay the whole weekend, but I think they got more than they bargained for because they left early, very early the next morning. But they never did tell me what they called or nothing. Which I already knew what they got. They kept it hush hush.
Yeah. Let me think of something here. There's a name on here I'm trying to look up that you might know of this person. No, that ain't who I thought it was. Hold on.
Yeah, here in Virginia, man, where mine and Daniel's area is, we live in what they call a giant salad bowl, which we call the Shenandoah Valley. And it's mountains all the way around us.
Oh, here's a name you're probably familiar with. Charlie Raymond. Charlie Raymond's out of Kentucky. He's a big time researcher out of there. Have you ever heard of him?
Say his name again. Say his name again, Daniel. You broke up there when you saying his name.
Oh, I'm sorry. His name is Charlie Raymond. Yeah,
You know Charlie Raymond?
He's part of the Kentucky Bigfoot. Yeah, he's part of the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization. He's a very active member.
I'll try to get up with him and talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. Him and Tony Burke are very active members in that group. So.
Okay.
Give or take, there's a few others, but they're the two I know pretty well. So, yeah, but yeah, I definitely want to let you know, Connie, you're doing awesome all by yourself. Now, only reason I was bringing up the other people because I thought maybe perhaps you could chat with them and kind of like maybe discuss amongst yourselves, maybe some patterns that some patterns that they might be picking up that you might be picking up as well, and you guys might be able to kind of put some pieces of the puzzle together in your area. Because what might be happening down in Kentucky, you guys might have something similar going on, kind of like what we're trying to do up here in Virginia. We're working on, there's certain things that me and Fred are finding very similar, like in his area and in my area, that there are things that's happening. Earlier in the podcast, Ryan was discussing how everywhere along the East Coast here, we got patterns and activity starting to brew up here in the month of May. And it seems like an ongoing occurrence. It's happening, every year. I mean, everywhere between May and June is our most active months. Don't get me wrong, I've had other active months later in the year, but it's like this is when it starts to act up in the beginning of the year, between May and June, which is pretty amazing. It's pretty interesting to know this. Because I get out year round. I get out throughout the winter, because I want to know what's going on in the winter time. I want to know their patterns. I want to know where they're moving to, so forth. And I'm going to shut up for a second because Lael has a question. Go ahead, Lael.
Hey, how they're moving here.
Okay, Lael has a question for you.
Okay.
Unmute yourself, Lael, and go ahead.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Hi, Connie. I'm not sure if we're Facebook friends or not, but I see you on Facebook because I'm friends with these guys. But anyway, my question is, what first got you into Bigfoot, and continue from there? What kind of what were your experiences? How did you get started?
She wants to know what got you into Bigfoot and your experiences and what really got you into Bigfoot.
Yeah, what got me into it? Well, I was just interested. I never really got out looking for Bigfoot until back in 2013. I was coming home from my sister's and it was just getting dark, and right across from my house there's a wood line. And my headlights caught movement, so I stopped the car and pulled in my driveway, was watching, and I seen it walking away. I could see that it wasn't dark in the court, too dark where I couldn't see it. I could see the outline of it. There was a big 9-foot tall one walking from it would turn and look back at me. And it had red glowing eyes.
Ooh.
Watched it for a good 5-10 minutes until it disappeared. And that's what I
And what
started
year?
looking for.
What year was this?
What year was this?
13.
13.
I was there
Oh,
for 2 years now.
Ah,
Oh.
okay. Let me ask you this. What was your
Pretty cool.
thought when you first saw this Squatch? What's the thing across your mind?
I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because I knew what it was. I just couldn't believe it. I thought I'd never in my entire life would ever seen one. Because I've always heard on the TV shows and that, people seeing them and everything, but I never thought I'd would see one. So it basically just shocked. Once the shock wore off, I was all excited. And that's when I started looking for evidence of them.
Do you travel into that patch of woods across from your house?
Yeah, I go in there all the time.
Ah, okay, cool.
That's the part of my area.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How many acres do you? Yeah, how many acres do what?
Well, I'm in the woods.
Yeah, it's always good to
Yeah, how many acres do you have to play on?
Oh, Lordy. It takes me, if I walked it all in one day, where I walk, it would take me about 4 to 5 hours to walk. So I'm not sure how many acres that would be.
It's about 100 acres. That's good.
do they come
Yeah, that is very
around
good.
right
And it's good to
at your
have
house?
something local like that you could walk through.
Part of it is old strip mine, old abandoned strip mine.
Ah, a good spot. What was you saying, Leo?
Uh-huh. I was gonna ask, do they come, Connie, do they come near your very near your house much, or do they kind of stay out in the woods around, in the area?
Yeah. Oh, no, they come in my yard all the time. Because last year they stole every one of my pears off my tree.
Damn.
And there for a while, see, my mom's got a trailer parked behind my house that she lives in. There for a while they were getting on a trailer. Until one day I got out there and just fussed at them and asked them to stop hitting on a trailer, and they did. But they still come around. Because she finally, for a long time she tried to see one. She finally got to see one night. There was one, and this got, what I made from her window, it had to be 9 foot or taller to look in her window, kitchen window at her. So that's how high her kitchen window is. She said she could see his eyes closed. And they're staring at her. But I said it never bothers her. And now they come on her porch and play with her wind chime.
Oh, hell, that's good.
But other than that, if they do something that I don't like, if I tell them not to do it, they pretty well listen.
Well, they probably realize that you and your mom ain't no threat to them, you know.
Yeah. Which this tickled is every time one would hit on a trailer, she would run out the door trying to see it.
Well, you know, as if they're coming around you. Oh,
Hey,
I was just
Ryan.
going to say, if they're coming around you, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. You got any questions, Ryan?
I'm just listening right at the moment. Nothing offhand. I was just trying to take in her whole story. Of what she does. I was gonna save most of my questions for when she comes on your podcast.
Okay. Connie, when are you gonna be ready to come on?
I should, anytime after tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get a hold of Lee Wood now. If I can't get a hold of him, I'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I'll set it up for Wednesday. This Wednesday night about 7:30, somewhere around that range.
All right, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I do.
I have
I do have one question, if I could jump in, because we had talked about it a lot about the migration thing. I'd like to get her belief on that real quick.
What's your
good
belief
question.
on the migration of Sasquatch, Connie?
Well, in my area, they have two spots. Basically, they've got 2 miles separating each spot. In the wintertime, they come to higher ground, I've noticed. And then as soon as the weather starts warming up, they go to the little valley on the spit line, and I call it a summer area. They pretty much stay right around in the middle. They just go from one end to the other.
Is it her opinion that
Well, I'm not sure about anywhere else.
they move for food or mating?
That's what deer do here. They'll go down low for the summer, and then come up to the high spot for the winter.
Yeah. Do you think they go from one spot to the other for food and maybe or mating, or how do you see it?
I think most of the summer spot, there's a lot more food. There's ponds down there that they can get fish in, and there's all kinds of wild birdies and everything else. And in the wintertime, I think in the wintertime they're following the deer for food. Because I found a lot of deer hair piles this year from them in the winter, what I call my winter area. But I don't never find nothing like that in the summer area.
Ah, interesting.
Ah,
I have yet to,
Yeah.
I know they run deer around here, but I have yet to find a dead carcass. I found I had a tree pushed over one night.
Oh,
Well, me and Daniel was camping, and I told him I was going up on the hill to see that tree break, and went up there, and there was a perfect 10-point skull and rack laid up against the base of that tree.
Oh,
I got that on my shed now, but it's a perfect 10-point rack.
oh,
really?
they definitely go after deer here in Virginia.
Pulled the hair and hide off of that ass, but never found the carcass.
Ah.
But I do know there's a cave here, and there's a few old coal mines. I do know there was a group in the coal winter, and I'm pretty sure there was a group in one of the coal mines.
Have you ever tried to go up in one of them coal mines?
Not yet. I still ain't found what I found. I found a bit pipe, and I can hear them down in it. But I ain't found the entrance yet.
I wouldn't.
But I did find the entrance to the cave, and I know they're in the cave.
Oh, okay, cool. What
I
would you
don't know
say?
if I'd give you the Connie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to. I'd leave a recorder there at the. I would take some rocks and take a recorder and put it behind the rocks there, right there at the entrance. See what I could pick up.
I have to do that because I'm going to try to get back there here one day here pretty soon.
Does she have an audio recorder that she uses? If so, like, since she has an active area, I'd really like to hear if she gets any audio out of that area.
Do you have an audio recorder that you use?
Yeah, I got a regular recorder I can use.
Okay. Have you gotten any sounds yet, or are you going to start doing it?
I've tried with getting sounds from them, but every time I turn the recorder on, they would shut up.
No. Can she leave it in the woods like 24 hours running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell her to try that. And then when she goes back through it, she can download it and use just like a wave player, NCH wave player, and go through the hours. And sometimes you'll pick up a lot of things that you'll be surprised what you get.
Yeah, I upload mine to SoundCloud. It works pretty good too.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Around here that won't work, and that's game cam. You try to put a game cam out, and they'll avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Try to
early.
disguise it a little bit. Like this is something I've actually learned this from Tracy Arnold. One thing he does he'll leave his on the ground up against dead stumps, dead trees and stuff. He'll take moss and kind of camouflage moss and or either that tree bark.
Yeah,
And
take
then
it
leave the camera spot open, and of course the infrared if you use infrared on your game cameras. That's something worth trying.
Yeah. Well, like I said about what Scott Carpenter did, he took a birch tree and shaved some bark. I mean, he went to another birch tree, shaved some bark off of it, put a hole in it, and put the game camera against the tree, then put the birch tree, the bark over top of that camera. And it's just the eye sticking out. And when you looked at it, all you're looking at is the tree. That's another way to do it.
We actually,
I still
I
think
was
they hear that.
telling
Go ahead,
tell
Ryan.
her
I'm sorry.
tell her to try kind of what our idea was. We were trying to uh, get rid of the infrasound or whatever electrical interference the game cams give off by wrapping them with a copper and an aluminum tape. Um, you can get it online. It's not very expensive. It's like $8 each, and you can put it on the inside of the cameras, the outside. Just don't cover the eyes and stuff. And that's how we ended up catching a photo, which I believe, our group believes, that may be a possible Sasquatch. It caused an uproar in the Bigfoot community, nonetheless, but certain people want to come investigate it and see if they can get a height reference off it. But I think my belief is they can either hear the cameras or get some of the IR something. We put IR filters on ours also, but
Something from it, yeah.
maybe she could try different things. It's always about thinking out of the box. You got to think. If you have an opinion on something, my belief is do something to fix it or change it. There's got to be a way to get them on game cam more and more.
Yeah.
Hear that, Con?
Yeah, I'll try all that. See if I can get it to work. But when they watch me, they may know what I'm doing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Connie, and this goes out to anyone or everyone listening
So a good shot one that way. I'll try it out, see if it'll work. Don't hurt to try.
All right. Cool. What'd you say, Daniel?
Yeah, what I was gonna say, whatever your technique is, and this, like I said, this goes out to everybody who goes out researching or trying things to capture evidence of whatever it is, or whatever how they're trying to capture it, either it be through DNA, a photo, video, whatever. A lot of people, and I hear this a lot, regardless of game cameras or whatever, a lot of people say they don't work. But my theory is be, you know, be persistent with your techniques. Don't stop it or try something different because someone says what you're doing ain't gonna work. Be persistent. Keep at it. These are things that will also pick up other wildlife that you will know in your area. It's very important to understand and realize your known wildlife and the patterns that they move and work in these areas. But eventually, if you leave a game camera long enough, the wildlife in that area, they actually get used to that. So, and like I said, this goes out to everybody. I mean, be persistent and just keep at it. Don't give up on it. And regardless, I mean, I constantly use my game cameras. I use my audio, and I get all kinds of audio. And if I get something known, like a known wildlife species, I'll share it so people know what they sound like. Because a lot of people don't get out in the woods like we do, and it's a learning thing. It's everything that we do, regardless if it's right or wrong. It's a learning tool. So just keep at
That's
what you're doing, and that, like I said, that goes out to everybody. So
that's
yeah,
true.
but
Oh, I'll do
that was my yeah.
I don't want to give up. I'll give it to one way or another with game jam if I had to bury it in the ground.
Yeah, I actually stuck up for her one day. She was going through some issues. I seen her post, and a lot of people were, kind of degrading her and stuff like that. And I stuck up for her because I see some of the research that she does. They just kind of wouldn't lay off her. She was I don't know, maybe a bad month or two, but I don't think that's right either. You know, so just yeah, like Daniel said, be persistent. Don't let the people get you down. Eventually, they come to their senses. Either they'll leave you alone, or they start paying attention to what you're posting because it's relevant.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I mean,
I just
we've,
take care of
I
what
know
I
we've all, yeah, I was gonna say we've all experienced ridicule from, regardless of who it may be from. I
Yeah.
mean, we've all learned we got haters in the Bigfoot community, but those haters have nothing better else to do. They're very ignorant, and they're the ones that are uneducated. They might have degrees in education as far as school wise and whatnot, but they don't have the education of being in the field. I don't, they talk a lot of trash, but they don't learn the secret things that are hidden among them that we get to discover.
And they
That's
have
why
no,
we're out there. Yeah, go ahead. I was
they
pretty
have
much
no,
wrapping up.
they have no common sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
All they want to do is give their opinion. Like I said, how many times have we all shared things and all we get is an opinion? People don't ask our backstory. They don't ask the backstory of the photos. They don't PM you. You know, very once in a while you'll get that. And that's how you know the person may be serious or a good friend or somebody you want to keep ties with. Because 90% of the time they just give out their opinion and say, "Oh well, that's whatever it is," and they don't even know the story that where it came from or how serious of a researcher you really are. So just
If
stay
it's a
Right.
positive.
clear picture, obviously a hoax, and it's a blurry picture, it's obviously a hoax.
do.
And
I don't
they
give up on. I'm not giving up on. I don't care what anybody says to me. Because I know what I find and I know what I see. It's like I told a bunch of them. They don't believe what I post. They can come here because there's a lot of stuff I don't even post or take pictures of here.
Yeah.
Somebody do it.
I, I have one last question for what is her goal in all this?
Last question he's got is, what is your what you say? What is your goal on this?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what does she want to get from this?
Because I don't want to see none of them killed.
Okay. What is your damn? Say that question again, Ryan.
No.
What is her goal by researching? Like, what does she want from? What does she expect to do? What goal does she have uh, by researching? What's her end outcome?
Oh, what's your end outcome on your researching that you want to get to?
I just want to, all I want to do is get the information out there. I don't care who gets credit or nothing. I just want to get the information out there. And
Yep.
the people with those deep
Uh,
thoughts, they are real. And then what we all see is real.
Yeah.
It's not make believe or nothing.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
all
I
right.
agree.
Tell you what, we're coming to a close. We're coming to a close right now. I want to give everybody on the panel, including you, Connie, if you guys have any last minute words or you guys want to share before we leave out.
Got any last minute thoughts before you want to leave
Uh,
out, Connie?
No, but mine just went blank.
She had a blonde one.
If my sister say I got a brain fog.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
All right. How about you, Fred?
Um. Well, like I said before, uh, get out there, get your information. Hair samples, foot tracks, whatever Keep squatching. Don't don't let people rag you like they ragged us before. You got a good area. They come in your yard and keep on squatching, man, because you will catch one on that game cam if you might have put it in your kitchen window or your bedroom window or just a hole in the wall with the camera there. It'll work. You will get one on
Yep.
video, and I want to see that too. And Wednesday
Be
night,
persistent.
Wednesday night at 7:30, I'll have Connie Fox on my podcast, and everything.
Woohoo!
So y'all keep an eyeball out and everything.
All right. How about you, Lael? You have any last minute words you want to share with the panel and the viewers?
I would like to say, Connie, I'm glad you joined us. I enjoyed it, and if uh, any of us ever want to go down your way and camp in the yard or nearby your house, could we do that?
She said, well, and more bottom line is, we come down and camp out in the yard. Maybe we could see one too.
You're more welcome to come anytime y'all want.
You're more than welcome to come
Awesome.
anytime you
Cool.
want.
Well, I don't know when and if we could ever get there, but you sound like a wonderful country person just like us, and if we can get it together, I'd love to go down and meet you.
Says you're just as
Oh yeah.
redneck as the rest of us, and we get a chance, we'll come down and help.
All right. How about you, Ryan? Do you have anything you want to share with everyone?
Oh, not really. The only thing I did is I finally just sent some samples out to the university. So
Glad
hopefully,
today.
yeah, I did that this morning. I think there was 6 different samples that I had collected. So we'll see what comes back from New York. I don't know how long that'll take, but I'm guessing, maybe a month or two. But
Or five.
I encourage Connie to get her samples if she finds anything and try to reach out and team up with a university somewhere to possibly get them tested. A lot of DNA specialists or anthropologists nowadays, they charge a lot of money, but there are some that will be open-minded and are willing to possibly test your samples for free, as ours are being. Um, So, just that's one way to prove it, and that's one way to take the skepticism out of it, and that's one way to get the quote-unquote haters off your back, because they always want to bring in the science factor. So if you can do something like that somewhere or have the opportunity to, try to do it.
All right.
Well,
Awesome.
we enjoyed it. I'm glad you came on.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Connie.
Yeah, we're glad
And
you
with
come
all
on.
that being absolutely. And with all that being said, I want to thank you myself, Connie. And this goes out to anyone and everyone. Anytime and through social media or wherever you may see somebody's evidence or photos shared, and if you ever have any doubt or if you don't believe or you feel like you have to ridicule that person, stop right there and question that person about what they're sharing and let them have the chance to explain what they're sharing, because then you just might learn something that you had no clue about. And and on a side note, always take and learn from that, regardless if you believe it or not. You could always believe in, or you could always learn from something that you never thought you could believe in or know. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know that just needs to be explained. you know Sometimes the answer's right in front of us and we don't understand it. So keep that in mind. And on another note, always give credit where credit is due. Just had to throw that out there as one of my closing statements. I always wanted to throw it out there. And I want to thank everybody, all the viewers. And if you haven't done so, subscribe. This is YouTube channel ECBRO 98. And again, thank you for a great night, Connie. I can't wait to talk with you some more and learn more. And the viewers, thank you again.